Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds, hanging out with.
Nerdarchy is dead.
And what's this Dungeon Master to do when his good guys turn bad?
Jump down the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy the newsletter, get weekly gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with us.
Hey, while you're down there, you can find the original GM911 post, as well as if you got one of your own, you can send it over to nerdarchy@gmail.com. Subject line, GM911.
And I want to thank Jerry for sending this to us because he did an awesome thing and gave us a short one.
Well, it is very concise. So essentially what Jerry wants to know is, what do you do when your players want to join the villain's overarching plot?
All right, so this is an interesting thing. Now, I say in many videos that I prefer to have players be heroes. I want them to be the good guys. I want them to be the ones to save the day and save the town. Makes my decisions so much easier as a GM. But I gotta say, like, this sends, thrills of excitement in the DM, in me to say, well, that's a great idea. What would I do if, the players decided they wanted to jump on board with the bad guys? And there's a lot of things that the players could do, and you literally just flip the table and dive in. And that's what I would do, and I'd let them run with it.
The simple and short answer is let them. The more complicated answer is, how would your villain really feel about it? Like, how well do you have this villain mapped out? His personality? Would he see them as rivals, regardless of what side they were on? Would he be worried that they're going to try and steal his big plot? Are they going to be subservient to him? Will he take countermeasures to make sure they are? What kind of things is he going to do to make them prove their loyalty? Like, you could do a lot of stuff with that. Is he going to make them submit themselves to a geese spell? Is he going to put some kind of special brand on them, or make them wear some kind of certain ring or something that's going to keep them in line? Basically some kind of like control thing in order to make sure that he stays in control and doesn't lose it to these upstarts.
So a lot of things come into question here. Number one, are we talking about, like, you've got a 20th level campaign arc written, and the big bad of the whole thing, and right from the get-go they're willing to jump in? He should have no problems accepting some minor underlings to his cause. And
they might not get any face time either. Like, they're peons, right, at this point. If you're saying at second level, this is a 20th level arc, they're jumping ship. Like, they're going to have to deal with underlings to get to the boss.
Right. So you have the idea scripted out. All right, well, the things that are going to happen that the players would have to thwart, well, now they're going to have to set those things into motion, and they're going to have to deal with other heroes that are coming to challenge them. Perhaps it becomes, a game of intrigue and politics because the bad guy is trying to usurp the throne, and now your players, who were supposed to be the heroes, these are now the shadow assassins that are lurking to eliminate, key members that are thwarting this guy's, control. So you can still do a lot of these cool adventure type things, but they can't get caught, or they can't get seen, or any of these things that fall into that thief kind of game is easily doable and able to handle. Or it could be all right, well, you could still do the standard, well, go off an adventure in this thing here, but instead of getting to keep the relics for yourself, you need to bring them back to the boss. Now, you might be able to keep some of the extra trinkets, but this guy is wanting that item because it's going to stack with all these other things that he's got. So that's what he wants.
Artifact Jenga. No, you actually, ninja'd me a little bit there with, you want to, some of the things you're going to do are actually going to be what they're going to do anyway. For instance, if this dungeon is particularly important to the boss, well, had he taken it over, then the players would have had to reclaim it as the good guys. That being said, he might need to clear it out as the bad guy, and either the current residents either need to be subjugated or thrown out, whatever. Now it's the player's job. How does that really change the initial adventure? It doesn't. Like, they still have to go in there, kick ass, and and clear it out. But now then they're going to do it, and this guy is going to move his forces in. Like you said, he may send them off to capture relics. Well, before they might have been recapturing those relics to bring them to a safe place. Well, now they're going to capture them and bring them to the unsafe place, the big boss. So a lot of your plot threads and adventures might actually stay the same.
So you're still going to have the concept of a quest giver, but it's going to a lot of times be your big bad or one of his underlings. You still are going to have those quests that Dave and I were just talking about, and you still have the possibility of wandering encounters. You're still going to have role playing encounters, but when you're in town, it's going to be potentially not a problem, or you got to do a lot of deception and underhanded stuff so that you're not caught or being aware that you're serving the bad guy. And then your friendly encounters could wind up being with other bad guys to try and rally more forces to the big bad's plan.
Or they might still be unfriendly encounters, because the thing about evil is it tends to turn on itself. And, instead of being friendly encounters, they're encounters with rivals, because you guys are all vying for the big boss's attention. So you really have to take that into consideration. Evil turns on itself. At what point does the big boss go, wait a minute, these guys are really rising up really fast? And he's like, oh, right, I really like these guys. Or, maybe I got to watch my back against these guys. And, their families and stuff disappear for safekeeping. So you could definitely have things like that going on. And I would absolutely try and seduce them with power, because, that's kind of like an underlying theme with evil. Evil turns on itself. And so you should be, in essence, still trying to get them to turn on the big boss, big bad, even if it's then to become the big bad themselves. Yeah, that should definitely be an element in there. And even if they don't, there should be a rival that tries to set them up and make it look like they are trying to take out the big bad at some point. Or maybe they want to do that to a rival in return or first.
So there's a number of different things that you can really do and make this be a fun and interesting game without having to change too much of your material. The point is they've bitten onto a part of your story that you weren't expecting, and run with it. Really treat this as the sandbox that you created it to be, and just have a blast. And you get to create some heroes and really play it up. Love coming in with the paladin and the gleaming armor and the flowing hair. The quirky wizard. Have a great time when they get to slaughter the heroes that they were trying to be. And, when they get to town, and they're sneaking around and they hear these things, try to, shove in the spike as, people are sad that, the heroes have fallen and, whatever. I'd play all that up.
Yeah, I would like to say, as far as the derailments go, this one is not horrible. This one is, I pretty much get to use all my material. I just kind of have to use it. You have to reverse engineer it. And all the things that your players were going to undo, they have to just do now. So, so there's that part of it. And with the added complication of, well, there should probably be heroes, like Ted said, trying to foil them and bring, peace and justice to the land. So, and yeah, absolutely play that up. And the more evil they get, the more, the more staunch the allies and heroes are going to be, and the paladins are going to start coming out. So, in the beginning it might just be peasants with pitchforks and torches, but eventually it might be, high-level paladins looking to right these wrongs.
Absolutely. So what do you guys think? How would you handle Jerry's question? How would you run this kind of game in your table? Let us know in the comments down below. While you're at it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Check us out over on Facebook.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.